Hello everyone, it's Laura here with Healthy Places Surviving Mental Health Stigma blog. Today I wanted to talk about something that I feel has been spoken about a lot, especially in the mental health community, but at the same time it's still something that comes up, so I think we need to continue to talk about it until it's just no longer part of our vocabulary, no longer an issue for those of us that deal with mental illnesses. What I wanted to talk about is the phrase, just get over it, or get over it, or whatever variation of that phrase you might have heard. I know especially for depression and anxiety, that's a really big phrase, but I imagine it spans across all of mental illnesses when people just don't get what mental illnesses are all about, I guess. Part of it is because they might not think that whatever you're dealing with is something worth being upset over or something that should be continuing on for this longer period of time. It all comes down to they just don't get it and they don't understand what it's like to go through these things. Another reason they probably say this, and it kind of ties into the last one, is that say the anxiety or the depression or whatever mental illness episode you're dealing with was triggered by something specific. That person might feel like if they had gone through that situation, they would already be over it themselves. But we know that mental illnesses just don't work that way. Not to mention that we each experience things differently. So to kind of put that time frame around how long someone should be struggling with something is just completely unfair and completely unreasonable. It also comes down to an issue of people seeing mental illnesses and struggle as a sign of weakness, and this is especially true in males. I know a lot of males have gone through that experience themselves where they're struggling with something and they don't want to talk about it because either someone has told them it makes them weak or they just feel that stigma already present without even saying it. One thing I kind of wanted to remind people about is, I think I might have mentioned this already, but we each experience things differently. Even if we go through the same sort of situation over and over again, we're going to experience it differently each time because of the surrounding factors. So it's not fair to say that one person's experience should match another person's experience. What goes on inside of my head and how I deal with things inside of my head is going to be completely different from what happens inside of your head and how you deal with things. Even if there are similarities between our experiences, ultimately our brains are different and we are different people, so that affects how we handle things and how much time it might take us to get over something, or just how we are able to deal with things in general, I guess. And the problem with stigma, as always, is that it silences people, and silence is deadly. So many people struggle in silence and they never get help and they never know what recovery is and they never know that there's hope out there because they can't share their experiences. They can't have that acknowledgement of someone else might be going through something similar and that they're not alone, and that is one of the worst things that stigma can do to us. So I hope some of this information has been helpful to you, at least maybe in understanding why people say that phrase, just get over it, and let's continue to work towards eliminating that phrase from our vocabulary entirely. Thanks.